Have you ever stopped to think that the decision everyone calls responsible might actually be leading you to the place you don't want to be financially? You know, those choices that seem mature, safe, intelligent, that receive approval from family, friends, and society as a whole? Decisions that make you hear phrases like, "Now you're doing the right thing," "That's thinking about the future," or even, "Every responsible adult does that." Maybe you've even repeated that to yourself. Have you ever been through that? The curious thing is that in the world of personal finance, the most dangerous decisions almost never seem like mistakes. They come disguised as prudence, stability, and correct financial behavior. They are normal, common, socially accepted decisions, and that's precisely why they go unquestioned. Nobody warns, nobody suspects, nobody stops to analyze calmly. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover may surprise you. The problem doesn't begin when someone acts impulsively or does something obviously wrong. It begins when psychology and financial behavior go into automatic mode, and you follow a path because that's how it's done. And perhaps, while you feel secure today, something silently is being built beneath that choice. Pay attention to what comes next, because the next part completely changes how you view decisions considered responsible. And while you're listening to this, perhaps a specific situation has already crossed your mind, a decision that, at the time, seemed logical, mature, even commendable, but that today makes you feel a slight discomfort when you think about the future. If this topic resonates with you, leave a comment below about what has touched you the most so far. Sometimes writing helps you see things more clearly, and your experience can help someone else realize something they haven't yet noticed. If at any point you thought, "This sounds like me," consider liking the video. It's not just a button. It's a sign that this kind of conversation needs to continue because many people still confuse responsible financial behavior with decisions that only seem safe on the outside. And if you feel this channel talks about personal finance in a different way, more human, more connected to psychology and real financial behavior, subscribe to continue with me. Your participation here is what makes this content reach further and connect with people who are also trying to make better decisions. Now pay attention to the next point, because this is where most people start to make mistakes without realizing it. There's a very clear and rarely discussed reason why decisions considered safe are almost never questioned. Our financial brain wasn't trained to seek the best long-term decision, but rather to avoid immediate discomfort. It seeks approval, emotional stability, and the feeling of doing the right thing. When a choice receives social validation, when everyone around agrees, praises, or repeats that it's prudent, the brain interprets this as a sign of security, and that's when vigilance drops. Impulsive decisions attract attention because they seem dangerous. They generate alert, fear, and distrust. Normal decisions, the ones everyone makes, pass straight through the critical filter. They don't require mental effort, don't provoke internal conflict, and don't generate debate. They are accepted on autopilot. And this is one of the quietest behind-the-scenes aspects of financial behavior. The more common a decision seems, the less it is analyzed. There's a hidden truth in all of this. The greatest financial impact rarely comes from obvious mistakes, but from choices repeated throughout life, made without deep reflection. The brain likes shortcuts. If something is socially approved, it saves energy and moves forward. But this mental economy comes at a price later. The everyone does it mentality creates a false sense of security, while small concessions accumulate. There is no immediate pain, no apparent crisis, just a slow, almost invisible transformation happening beneath the decisions. That's why so many people look back and can't pinpoint exactly where they went wrong. Nothing seemed wrong at the time the decision was made. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject because when you understand this psychological mechanism, you begin to see patterns, repetitions, and traps that previously seemed like just a part of adult life. And it is precisely at this point that clarity begins to emerge, revealing what almost no one notices while there is still time to adjust course. Comment below. This makes sense to me. The most dangerous effect of these decisions lies not in what they cause today, but in what they silently build over time. Nothing breaks immediately. Nothing hurts now. Life goes on. Bills are paid. Routine seems under control. That's precisely why almost no one notices the impact while it's happening. This is one of the most uncomfortable hidden truths of financial behavior. When the consequence is slow to appear, the brain stops worrying. In the first month, the decision seems harmless. In the first year, it's already become a habit. And when you look again, that responsible choice is already integrated into your identity, your mindset, the way you organize your entire life. The impact doesn't come as a shock. It comes as wear and tear, small limitations that you learn to accept, the postponement of plans, the feeling that something is always missing, even when doing everything right. It's a silent transformation that happens behind the scenes of your financial journey. The problem is that decisions like these don't give clear warning signs. They don't scream. They don't cause an immediate crisis. They don't draw attention. They just push the future a little further ahead, month after month. When the real weight appears, there's usually already too much commitment involved, too much time invested, too much energy spent to simply go back. And it's at this point that many people wonder how they got there, without being able to pinpoint a specific mistake. Because, in isolation, each decision seemed logical. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because when you start observing this cumulative effect, you begin to realize that it's not an isolated event, but a pattern, a set of small, seemingly correct decisions that together generate a much greater impact than any impulsive mistake. And when this perception arises, it completely changes the way you view common everyday choices, including some that may be happening in your life right now, without you having stopped to look closely. Comment below. This could be happening to me. Perhaps the most difficult point to accept in all this reflection is understanding that the mistake is almost never in the decision itself. The real problem lies in the moment it was made, in the emotional context, in the invisible pressure surrounding it, and above all in the motivation behind the choice. Many decisions that now financially hinder people stemmed from good intentions, from the desire to do the right thing, to mature, to show responsibility to others, and to oneself. There is a hidden truth in this that few people admit. Not every correct decision is made rationally. Many are made out of fear of appearing irresponsible. When you make a decision to alleviate momentary anxiety, to meet an external expectation, or to fit into a social norm, timing almost always works against you. The mindset isn't prepared, the structure doesn't yet exist, but the decision happens anyway. And on the outside, everything seems coherent. The speech is beautiful, the justification makes sense, approval comes quickly. But inside, this choice carries a silent weight that only appears later, when the impact has already spread to various areas of life. Reframing is essential for transformation. It's not about blaming past choices, but about looking behind them more honestly. It's about asking not just, what did I decide, but why did I decide that at that moment? Many financial journeys begin to go off track precisely when important decisions are made too early, too late, or for the wrong reason. And when this awareness arises, something changes. No guilt comes, clarity comes. No regret comes, learning comes. It's like turning on a light in a room that's always been there, but that you avoided looking at closely. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because understanding the timing and motivation behind decisions is what separates those who repeat patterns from those who actually begin to change their own trajectory. And when you start to realize this, you begin to see common choices with a different level of awareness, almost as if you were seeing layers that previously seemed invisible. Write in the comments, "Now this is clear to me." There comes a point when this starts to translate into something practical, because after seeing behind the scenes, understanding the invisible impact, and reframing the error, a silent question arises: how to perceive these decisions before they block the path. And the answer isn't in complicated formulas or in making more money. It's in changing the mental filter with which you evaluate seemingly responsible choices. A decision starts to become dangerous when it brings more emotional relief than rational clarity. When the main benefit is stop thinking about it, solve it quickly, or show that you are responsible. It's worth raising an internal alarm. Another important point is to observe whether the decision expands possibilities or definitively closes doors. Many choices seem stable but reduce your future flexibility, and this is almost never noticed at the time, because stability gives a false sense of control. There's also a little discussed detail. Healthy decisions often generate slight discomfort. At the beginning, because they require patience, waiting, and self-control. Decisions that create financial constraints, on the other hand, are usually accompanied by an immediate feeling of tranquility, as if everything were resolved. This difference is subtle but powerful. It reveals a hidden truth about mindset and transformation. Not everything that calms you now protects you later. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because when you start applying these simple principles in your daily life, you begin to see common choices with a different level of awareness. The journey stops being about always getting it right and starts being about making decisions with more presence, less autopilot, and a greater understanding of the real impact over time. It is at this point that decisions cease to be merely isolated acts and begin to truly shape the course of your financial story. Comment below, I'm on this journey too. If you've made it this far, it's because this conversation has truly resonated with you. And when content makes us stop, reflect, and rethink decisions that seem too normal to be dangerous, that says a lot. If this message was for you, leave a comment writing, "This message was for me," or "I'm with you until the end," I read. And that helps keep this space alive, with conversations that really matter. If at any point you felt that this video put into words something you already suspected but never stopped to organize, leave a like. It's a simple way to show that this type of content makes sense and deserves to continue. And if you want to keep reflecting on decisions, mindset, and the financial behind-the-scenes aspects that almost no one explains, subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss the next conversations that follow the same line, always with calm, clarity, and depth. There's a video over here that perfectly complements everything we've discussed today. Click on it and continue reading with me there.